The Hard Problem of Consciousness, David Chalmers. Most scientific problems about the brain ask things like, how do neurons fire? How does memory work? But David Chalmers pointed out a different kind of question, the hard problem of consciousness. It's not about how the brain processes information, it's about why any of that processing feels like something. Why does tasting chocolate feel rich and warm? Why does pain hurt? You could map every neuron and still never explain the feeling of experience. According to Chalmers, there's an explanatory gap. Physics might describe structure and behavior, but it can't capture inner life. And that mystery is what makes consciousness the ultimate unsolved puzzle.
Qualia, the feel of experience. Imagine seeing the color red, not just recognizing it, feeling it. That raw sensation is what philosophers call qualia, the smell of rain, the sting of jealousy, the bittersweet pull of nostalgia. These are qualia. They're the building blocks of subjective experience. But qualia raise a serious problem. They're private. You can never know for sure if someone else's red is your red. Some even argue qualia don't exist, just illusions created by the brain. But if consciousness is real, and if your inner world has any meaning, then qualia may be the most real things of all, yet also the most impossible to prove. The Chinese Room. John Searle. Can a machine think? John Searle says, maybe not. His famous thought experiment goes like this. Imagine you're in a room with a book of rules for translating Chinese. You don't speak the language, but you follow the instructions so well the people outside think you're fluent. Are you really understanding Chinese, or just manipulating symbols? Searle argues that's what computers do. They follow syntax, not semantics. They simulate understanding, but don't actually have it. The mind, he says, isn't just software. It's something more. And if he's right, artificial intelligence might never truly be conscious, no matter how smart it gets.
Alan Turing offered a different view. Instead of asking whether a machine is conscious, he asked a simpler question. Can you tell the difference? The Turing test says that if a computer can hold a conversation indistinguishable from a human, we should treat it as intelligent. It's not about what's inside, it's about how it behaves. This flips the burden of proof. Maybe we don't need to define consciousness to detect it. But it also raises ethical dilemmas. If machines pass the test, do they deserve rights? And what happens when we can no longer tell who or what we're talking to? Panpsychism. Consciousness everywhere. What if consciousness isn't rare, but universal? That's the bold idea behind panpsychism. Instead of emerging from complexity, like the human brain, maybe consciousness is a fundamental property of reality, like mass or charge. Even particles might have proto-consciousness, some tiny sliver of awareness. Panpsychism offers an elegant solution to the hard problem. Consciousness doesn't need to be explained away, because it's already everywhere. But it's also deeply unsettling. If everything is conscious to some degree, what does that mean for ethics, for nature, or even for the universe itself? Are we surrounded by a hidden ocean of experience? Functionalism, mind as function, not substance. Functionalism offers a more grounded approach. It says the mind isn't a specific material, it's a function. What matters isn't what something is made of, but what it does. Like a computer program running on different hardware, consciousness could arise from any system that performs the right processes. This idea supports the possibility of machine minds, and alien ones too. But it also implies that consciousness could exist in forms totally unlike ours. Maybe minds can be built from silicon, code, or even social networks. If function is king, then the universe might be teeming with minds we can't yet recognize. Mary's Room. Knowledge isn't experience. Mary is a scientist who knows everything about color, the physics, the biology, the psychology. But she's lived her whole life in a black and white room. One day, she sees red for the first time. The question is, Does she learn something new? If so, it means there's more to consciousness than information. There's a gap between knowing about experience and having it. This is the challenge Mary's Room presents. It suggests that conscious experience adds something beyond facts, something irreducible, something lived, and it implies that no amount of data or theory can replace the richness of being. The zombie argument. Mindless humans. Imagine a creature exactly like you. It walks, talks, and behaves just like a human, but there's nothing happening inside. No thoughts, no awareness, just behavior. Philosophers call it a philosophical zombie. It looks alive, but it's empty. The zombie argument says that if such a being is logically possible, then consciousness isn't just physical, it's something extra. It can't be reduced to brain states alone. But this raises a chilling possibility. How do you know anyone else is conscious? Or even that you're not a zombie yourself? The zombie thought experiment forces us to confront the mystery of other minds and the fragility of our own. Cognitive liberty, freedom of the mind. Beyond theory lies power, and that's where cognitive liberty comes in. It's the idea that your mind is your own, and no one should control your thoughts, your consciousness, or your inner world. In an age of neurotechnology, brain scans, and digital addiction, this idea is more relevant than ever. Who owns your focus, your identity? What if companies, governments, or algorithms can shape your choices without you noticing? Cognitive liberty isn't just about resisting mind control. It's about reclaiming the right to think freely, to feel fully, and to shape your own mental reality without external interference. The extended mind thesis. Your mind isn't just in your head. Finally, what if your mind isn't trapped in your skull? The extended mind thesis argues that your thoughts can stretch into the world, into your phone, your notebook, even other people. When you use a calculator or write down a plan, those tools become part of your thinking process. The boundary between mind and environment blurs. This idea changes everything. It suggests that the mind isn't a thing, it's a network, a process, a dance between brain, body, and world. And it means that upgrading your mind might not be about drugs or implants. It could be as simple as changing your tools, your habits, or the people around you. Consciousness is not just a puzzle to be solved, it's the very lens through which we see the world and ourselves. From zombies to panpsychism, from artificial minds to private qualia, each of these ideas challenges us to rethink what it means to be aware, alive, and free. We don't have all the answers, but asking these questions might be the most conscious thing we ever do.